Welcome back to another video. I'm Renee, and this is the Tequila Mockingbird podcast / YouTube / TikTok / wherever you're watching from. It's October 1st, which means it's a brand new month, and that means brand new books that I want to read. My TBR for this month is pretty jam-packed. I'm not going to lie to you. I might have given myself too much, but we'll see what I end up reading. The goal is to get a little spooky because my favorite books to read are the thrillers, the mysteries, and I think I have some good ones. So starting off, I have The Saturday Night Ghost Club. It says, growing up in the 1980s Niagara Falls, a seedy but magical, slightly haunted place, Jake Baker spends most of his time with his uncle Calvin, a kind but eccentric enthusiast of occult artifacts and conspiracy theories. This summer, Jake turns 12, he befriends a pair of siblings new to town, and so Calvin initiates them all into this Saturday Night Ghost Club. But as the summer goes on, what begins as a seemingly lighthearted project will uncover mysteries darker than any of its members, young or grown, had imagined. That one sounds just like a quick little, I need something to read on a weekend type thing. I mean, there's like 206 pages, so it's not super long. Gonna be a fast one. I can't wait to read it. Then, of course, I had to get this one added in simply because it is a fan favorite. It's all over TikTok right now. It's the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. If you don't know about it, it's really cute. It says, when Jenny? Jeannie? Jeanie. So I guess however you want to pronounce it, but I've heard it both ways. When Jenny's aunt gifts her the beloved Pumpkin Spice Cafe in the small town of Dream Harbor, Jenny jumps at the chance for a fresh start away from her very dull desk job. Logan is a local farmer who avoids Dream Harbor's gossip at all cost, but Jenny's arrival disrupts Logan's routine, and he wants nothing to do with the irritatingly upbeat new girl, except that he finds himself inexplicably drawn to her. Will Jenny's happy-go-lucky attitude win over the grumpy but gorgeous Logan? Or has this city girl found the one person in town who won't fall for her charm? Or her pumpkin spice latte? Sorry, I had to add that. I did succumb to the peer pressure, and I bought all of the, the Dream Harbor books. So look out for those in the upcoming months as well. The next one on my TBR for this month is a horror movie. I have seen so many good things about this, but also so many bad things. So if you've read it, let me know what you thought, because I have seen some people be like, no, don't waste your time, but others love it. So essentially, backstory. I love scary movies. I love the Scream movies. They are my comfort movies. And so this really spoke to me in wanting to read it. It says, in June 1993, a group of young guerrilla filmmakers spent 4 weeks making Horror Movie, a notorious disturbing art house horror flick. The weird part? Only 3 of the film's scenes were ever released to the public. But Horror Movie has nevertheless grown a rabid fan base. 3 decades later, Hollywood is pushing for a big budget reboot. The man who played the thin kid is the only surviving cast member. He remembers all too well the secrets buried within the original screenplay, the bizarre events of the filming, and the dangerous crossed lines on set that resulted in tragedy. As memories flood back in, the boundaries between reality and film, past and present, start to blur. Ooh. But he's going to help remake the film, even if it means navigating a world of cynical producers, egomaniacal directors. That's how you say that, right? And surreal fan conventions. Demons of the past be damned, but at what cost? This is giving me the Blair Witch Project vibes. And I watched that. I'm pretty sure that movie came out, I was young, but I remember watching it at my grandma's house on her little couch with my mom at like 3 or 4 years old, and that's kind of what this is giving me. So we're going to see where that takes us. And as I mentioned, I do love scary movies. So I bought from Ashley Cullen's Your Favorite Scary Movie. It's essentially a book where she talks about how the Scream films changed the horror franchise and movies from then on. In your favorite scary movie, entertainment journalist Ashley Collins examines the making and impact of the Scream films with behind-the-scenes insight from cast, creators, and crew, as well as sharp analysis on how the movie's special blend of gruesome violence and humorous self-awareness rewrote the horror playback. So it actually has interviews with Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, Kevin Williamson, Skeet Ulrich, Matthew Lillard, Jack Quaid, Parker Posey, Hayden Panettiere, Jasmine Savoy Brown, Mason Gooding, Radio Silence, Roger L. Jackson, and so many more. So actually in it has some pictures and stuff from set and just a little section about that. And like I said, Scream is my go-to scary movie franchise. So I'm really, really, really excited to start reading this. And then it's just a perfect reason to go and rewatch all the movies. This next book on my TBR for October is another one that I have seen everywhere. I have seen people nonstop talking about it, so I had to give it a try. I'm not usually one for horror books. Like, I do enjoy them, don't get me wrong, but if I am going to pick a book, it's going to be a thriller or a mystery. You might already know where I'm going with this one. I got We Used to Live Here. And you may be like, stop reading all the TikTok books. And listen, to be fair, I only have 2 that I've seen on TikTok so far. So get out of here with all that. But this one did seem kind of interesting and a little scary. We'll have to see if I can get through it. In 2021, started reading The Shining. That book, I probably got halfway done with it, scared me so badly that I was having nightmares about it. So I don't know how this one's gonna go. If you're unfamiliar with it, it says, as a young queer couple who flip houses, Charlie and Eve can't believe the killer deal they've just gotten on an old property in a picturesque neighborhood. While Eve works on the house one day, there's a knock on the door. A man stands there with his family, claiming to have lived here before and asking whether it would be all right if he showed his kids around. People pleaser to a fault, Eve lets them in. As soon as the strangers enter their home, inexplicable things start to happen. The family's youngest child goes missing, and a ghostly presence materializes in the basement. Even weirder, the family can't seem to take the hint that their visit should be over. And when Charlie suddenly vanishes, Eve slowly loses her grip on reality. My baby woke up from her nap, and she's like kind of crying and fussing, but it's not time for her to wake up. What time is it? Well, I guess that's getting close to her to wake up. She might fall back asleep. We'll have to see. I might have to cut the video short. You know I'm a sucker for a good Ellen Hildebrand book, and I picked up the new one, The Academy, that she wrote with her daughter, Shelby Cunningham. I'm so excited for this one. I had read a synopsis online that was essentially like, it's basically like a modern day Gossip Girl, and I'm really excited for it, especially because she wrote it with her daughter. So to get like the young aspect of it, because it is set in like a college setting. It's move-in day at Tiffin Academy, and amid the happy chaos of friends reuniting, selfies uploading, and cars unloading, shocking news arrives. America Today just ranked Tiffin the number 2 boarding school in the country. It's a 17-spot jump. Was there a typo? The dorms are dingy, the sports teams are always come in last, and let's just say Tiffin students are known for being more social than brainy. On the other hand, the campus is exquisite, class sizes are small, and the dining hall is run by a New York chef. And they do have fun, lots of parties and school dances, and a piano man plays in the student lounge every week. But before Tiffin students and faculty can pat themselves on the back, the wheels begin to turn, and then they fall off the bus, thanks to a new app called Zip Zap. Scandalous blind items start appearing on phones across Tiffin's campus, and nobody's safe. From Davi Bandry, Queen Bee, an international influencer, to Simone Bergeron, the young new history teacher, to Charlie Hicks, a transfer student who seems determined not to fit in, to Cordelia Spooner, an admissions director with a somewhat idiosyncratic mythology. Everyone has something to hide. So I can't wait to read this. It is like kind of drama filled with mystery, but not like not thriller-esque, if you get what I'm saying. So this might have to be one of those where I'm in between a scary book and I'm like, I got to change directions on this. So that one's added in. Baby's not falling back asleep. Let me go grab her out of her crib real quick. Snoopy? You love him? Wah, 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 wah. Your hair is flat on the side. Hi. I love you. You okay? What's wrong? Oh, Snoopy. Snoopy. Okay, so the last two that are on my TBR for the month of October are by the same author, Grady Hendrix. If you don't know, now you know. He is fantastic. I love reading his work. And a friend of mine, shout out Gina, actually told me to read this one. It's My Best Friend's Exorcism. It looks so interesting. She read it a few years ago and she was like, you have to read it, but also keep an open mind. And I feel like that's kind of how Grady's books are. Also, I feel like Riley Sager's books are also the same, where it's like they're really good, but keep an open mind while you're reading them. So My Best Friend's Exorcism is all about high school sophomores Abby and Gretchen. They've been best friends since 4th grade, but after an evening of skinny dipping goes disastrously wrong, Gretchen begins to act different. She's moody, she's irritable, and bizarre incidents keep happening whenever she's nearby. Abby's investigation leads her to some startling discoveries, and by the time their story reaches its terrifying conclusion, the fate of Abby and Gretchen will be determined by a single question. Is their friendship powerful enough to beat the devil? Ooh, I'm scared. My daughter's scared too. Did you hear that? And then the last book, also by Grady Hendrix for this month, is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. If you haven't seen this book, I think it is gorgeous. The colors together, I can't get over how pretty this is. Usually with my books, controversial, I throw away the dust covers. I think I might have to keep this one because it just looks so good. Ideally, I would love to read this book in like Salem, Massachusetts, but unfortunately I can't do that this year. So I'm just stuck in Indiana reading it, but I will pretend that I'm near all the spooky witchy stuff while reading it. It says 15-year-old Fern arrives at the home of... I really don't know how to read. How am I going to have a book page where I don't know how to read? Anyway, 15-year-old Fern... 15-year-old Fern arrives at the home in the sweltering summer of 1970. Pregnant, frightened, and alone. Under the watchful eye of the stern Miss Wellwood, she meets a dozen other girls in the same predicament. There's Rose, a hippie who insists she's going to find a way to keep her baby and escape to a commune, and Zinnia, a budding musician who plans to marry her baby's father, and Holly, a wisp of a girl, barely 14, mute and pregnant by no one knows who. Everything the girls eat, every moment of their waking day, and everything they're allowed to talk about is strictly controlled by the adults who claim they know what's best for them. Then Fern meets a librarian who gives her an occult book about witchcraft, and power is in the hands of the girls for the first time in their lives. But power can destroy as easily as it creates, and it's never given freely. There's always a price to be paid, and it's usually paid in blood. One of my favorite books I read last year was How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. So if it's anything like that, I'm in for one heck of a ride, and I can't wait to strap in and get started reading it. You talk? Say hi. No, you don't eat it. Don't eat it. Say, for the month of Halloween, would you like to hear my daughter's demon voice? Baby, hey. Mom, mom, mom. And then she laughs afterward because she truly is possessed. No, she's not. She's an angel. But those are all the books that are on my October TBR. Hopefully I can get through them all. This month I am really going to force myself to read more because the last couple months I've just been busy and I'm like, okay, I put these on there. I'm not setting a super extreme expectation to finish all of these. So this month though, I am ready to get going, especially before the holidays start. And all the chaos that comes with that. So come along with me on the ride to read all of these books that are on my TBR for the month of October. If you've read any of these and you want to tell me about them, leave me a comment and just kind of explain like what you thought. How many stars out of 5 and why, but don't give any spoilers, because usually I like spoilers, but not with these books. I want to go in completely blind. But if you want to follow along during this month with my reading activity, you can always subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me over on TikTok. It is the Tequila Mockingbird Pod over there. And then on Instagram, it's the Tequila Mockingbird Podcast. I'm happy to have you along for the ride, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!